Welcome back. The Supreme Court denied a pro-life pregnancy center's appeal to keep its donor list and other correspondence private. The state attorney general requested the information, saying that there are concerns over the center's statements about abortion pill reversals. The First Choice Christian Ministry said the request violated its rights under the First and 14th Amendments. Well, a recent report in the Wall Street Journal finds the world is at an alarming tipping point when it comes to birth rates, and it could have serious economic and geopolitical consequences. The report says birth rates are dropping nearly everywhere. This is especially true in high-income countries such as the U.S., where the CDC reported fertility rates in 2023 dropped to a historic low. All of this causing concern that the global replacement rate is in jeopardy. And here to talk about this and more is Nadine Maenza, the former chair of USCIRF and an advocate for international religious freedom and working family policies. Nadine, great to be with you as always.
Thank you.
This is really concerning information about birth rates. What do you think is behind the declining numbers, both domestically and globally?
Well, I think culturally we're in a situation where we want families, but are we creating communities that are welcoming to families? And currently in the United States, it's 40% of Americans cannot afford a $400 emergency. So of course, a new child is a financial catastrophe, for some families. And the economy has changed. We used to be able to raise families on one income. And now we have two incomes, we have higher costs, we have inflation, and having children is expensive. As you mentioned, the birth rate in the United States is the lowest it's ever been recorded at 1.64 live births per woman, last I heard. And we need, of course, a rate of 2.1 women per child in order to maintain our population. But if you ask women how many children they want to have 2.7 children. So women in America aren't having the amount of children that they want to have, partly because of the cost and because there aren't the kind of programs, things like what I've been working hard for is paid family leave after the birth or adoption of a child, to be able to spend those first few months together, bonding as a family without worrying about losing the house because you can't make rent.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about that before. Where are you right now with that plan? And also, talk a little bit more about how important that is for families.
Yeah, so the good news is there is bipartisan working groups in both the House and the Senate, conservative, liberal, moderate, all coming together and saying this isn't a partisan issue. Families are more important. They're sacred. We all need to be working together. So we're really hopeful that even this year there perhaps could be some sort of bipartisan plan to help families. So much data shows the need for paid family leave after the birth or adoption of a child. Currently, about a quarter of all women go back to work within 10 to 14 days after having a child, often doing labor service type, food service and others, retail. Only 23% of people have paid leave available through their work, and also 9% of low income workers have access to it. So you have all these folks that end up having to go back to work right away. And what that means for children, the data is staggering in support of having that important time together for moms, fathers, and babies.
Yeah, so important. Almost out of time. But Nadine, what else, can we do to support those who want to have children? Other ways maybe the government can be a little bit more involved, things like maybe financial incentives.
Exactly. Child tax credit is a huge one. Increasing it for lower age children. There's all sorts of conservative support right now for increasing the child tax credit. It was increased under the tax plan that the Trump administration passed. There's even talk that Biden is now prepared to continue to support those child tax credits. That's a great way to incentivize families. There's ways that we can look at how child care could be more effective and more cost effective for families. And really, if we had a way of looking at government, now as a conservative, I don't want to grow government. The idea isn't to grow government, but let's be smart about government supporting families. What could it mean if every mother and father and child had that time together and didn't have those kind of pressures to go right back to work after a child was born? What if every family started off bonded like that? Studies show that when fathers are home those first few weeks, they actually produce the same hormone women produce when they're breastfeeding and after having a child, this oxytocin that actually it's like a love hormone, and they become bonded to this child. And then other studies show that fathers that were home those first few weeks stay involved in the child's care, and that children do better academically. They do better all the way around when their fathers are part of their lives. So study after study shows that this time together, that supporting families, that trying to craft policies that actually make it easier for people to have children benefits society, and it benefits each one of these lives, including, of course, the mental health of mothers and fathers as well. Everyone wins. It does take a little bit of time, and it's a different way of looking at things. We have a resource. A whole lot of conservative groups came together, including Patriot Voices, Students for Life, American Principles Project, a whole bunch of them. And we're part of it's called paidleaveforfamilies.com. And it has all of these facts. It has a legislative briefing book, and it kind of helps explain why this particular policy we're such a fan of, but also child tax credit and other plans, ways of supporting families so that we can all grow together strongly, and what that means for society. And when families are strong, you need less government involved. And so, no matter what people's income levels, they should have the right to be able to start their families off strong.
We're going to leave it right there, Nadine. Thank you so much. Always great to be with you, and wonderful insights as always. Thank you. God bless.
I so appreciate you covering this important topic. Thank you.